Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my weekly check-in. So I have a 5-week weekly check-in set up and I have my totals here on what I plan for each week. I'll be showing you what days equal a week for me. I do know I was looking at the calendar, and since my husband has a different pay schedule on the 1st and 15th of every month instead of every other Friday pay schedule, I'm going to have to change that because I'm confusing myself quite a bit already. So in the month of May, when I do my videos and when they go up will vary month to month on the weekly check-in. So I'll explain that here in a little bit. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. I'm just showing you what we spent, what my thoughts are and where the money's coming from and how we're paying for it, and maybe that will help and inspire you guys in your own budget journey on how you spend your money and what makes sense for you when you're tracking your spending. Tracking your spending is the biggest and best tool you could have to stay in control of your money and actually stay in control of your impulse spending. It really does make a big difference. And if that's something you're looking for, this could help you out. So now that I've said all that, the weekly check-in, I have 6 categories listed here. It's grocery household, that's what GH stands for, restaurants, miscellaneous, gas, copay, medical copays, and unbudgeted. Unbudgeted I only track here so I can remember to make sure it's taking out of the checking account and paid for, whether especially when I put it directly onto the credit card. And we are going to have some of everything except for copay this week. So that's what we're working with this week. I do have my list. I track everything. I actually track in 2 places. I think I'll show you both places. I track here on the day. I like tracking on the calendar here. I cut and print my own stickers. You don't have to. You can just write directly on the calendar, draw on your own lines. There's great tools out there where you can just kind of put this down and draw some lines and put your own transactions in. Things like that. Here I'm just using stickers that I've bought and cut and print myself. And I really enjoy doing that. As you can see, I have grocery household, which is pink, restaurant, which is blue, miscellaneous, which is this mint green. I don't know how well you can tell the difference on camera, but in front of me, there's a big difference. And then gas right here is this orange color. I have no copays this week, and I have one unbudgeted, and I will get into that in a little bit. So there's that, but I also track my bills when I do my weekly check-in because some of my bills actually go onto my credit card. And when I have that, I come over here and find out what's highlighted blue in the first 4 days because today is Thursday the 4th. I'm not spending any more today and I'm not going anywhere. It's 34 degrees outside and it's freezing in April and I'm just ready for the cold to go away. So anyways, but yeah, I have 4 transactions here that did go into the credit card I need to pay back, as well as all this spending. Now, we only use our credit card to pay for what we're spending out. We are fully electronic when we do our spending. I don't deal with cash. 2 reasons. One, I don't have an ATM close to me that's either in network or a bank near me. That is the one we're using. We for over 25 years, we were with Navy Federal Credit Union. We still are. We still love using that bank, but there is no bank near us because we're no longer in the Navy near these towns where they have it. There's one 2.5 hours from where I live, but that's okay. I don't particularly like using cash. I prefer to run my credit card or debit card when I do make purchases. And I just don't like carrying it on me. So I just don't. I never have liked carrying cash on me. So when I went fully electronic, tracking was the way I was able to keep within budget. I have to track every penny. That's just my personality type. Some people just round up and that's fine. And they leave change. It doesn't have to match. I like it to match the bank account. So when you see me track to the penny, that's what I'm doing. So I track here on the calendar, but I also track back here, and this is actually everything on the credit card. Blue means it's a bill. That orange is obviously gas. There's the groceries, more bills, and then this unbudgeted. Gray sometimes means on this calendar, and a lot of times you guys won't see it, it's actually paid from an account, like one of the savings accounts, but it doesn't actually affect my budget because my budget is only my checking account. So this is a mix of checking and savings, where the money's coming from. So that's why I highlighted it that way. And then there's my miscellaneous restaurants bill, grocery, and then I made a payment, and you're going to see I bring everything back to zero. So this is another way of tracking everything and just using the color code system. The Budget Mom uses this system, and a lot of other people do too. And I like to use it to keep track of my credit card and make sure my credit card is completely paid off once a week. As we move forward into the next week. So that is why I keep this. And I go about maybe 4 pages like this in my planner here. So let's get back to the weekly check-in. I have my little notepad here. I'm not liking this. I love the florals, but I'm not liking how everything's laying out, but that's okay. I want to get through this notepad that I have. I have 2 of these notepads, I think. Once I get these used up, then I don't know if I'm going to give myself permission to buy new ones. I love these Erin Condren notepads, or try to look for something else. So we'll see. But I really like them. The match the wildflower collection here in the book is so pretty, though. It is so pretty. It's just complicated to write things out. Okay, moving on. Grocery household. Funny thing. I went to the grocery store, or I did a grocery pickup here. And I went to Meijer's, and it was $98.74. I'm going to start with this one. And it was a grocery pickup for the week. I requested meats and snacks and milk and eggs and all the things. And then I've got the app here where you can see the grocery pickup. And it said out of stock with the Oreos that my sons wanted, and then out of stock with chicken. And I wanted 2 packages of chicken tenderloins. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get those. I got milk and I got eggs and tea. My husband takes these when he's traveling, working and stuff. He drinks those on the road. And then some biscuits and some snacks and creamer and water and things. So that's my grocery haul for this week. And so that was the $98.74. When I got to the grocery store and picked up the groceries, I was going to run in really quick and just get make a different choice on chicken, because they said they were out of the chicken strips, and see if I can come up with something else for chicken for dinners. And then also grab a different, I could do substitutions on this app, but I don't like doing it. It confuses them and me when I actually do the backups and stuff, and it never seems to come out right. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I was going to run into the store, grab those few items that were out of stock, and another in a different substitution, basically the same thing but different substitution. And they did have the chicken. I couldn't believe it. There was chicken dinners there. So I grabbed 2 packages, and that's what this is. Let me see if I can find the receipt. I love this app because it does give me a specific, paper version, and this is me running into the store. I did use my $10 that I accumulated in points. I found some lotions that I really wanted. I have really dry skin, so that really helps. Got some extra donuts for breakfast and stuff, and then 2 packages of chicken tenders, and some toilet paper stuff, and the cookies. I found something more suitable, and that was $56.44. Okay, so those 2 are taken care of. So I got what was missing and then went home. I get home, and in my order, in my bag, was 2 packages of chicken. Even though it was said that they were out of stock. Even though it said, let's see, they were out of stock here. They said it was out of stock. I go in the store, they weren't out of stock, so I grabbed 2 packages, not thinking they actually put 2 in my bag in the back, and I get home and yeah, there were 2 back there. So today, this morning, it was bothering me that I had this chicken. I felt like I stole it, and I didn't. Now I ended up with 4 packages of chicken, but which is fine. I freeze most of it anyway. But I went back and took those exact packages and made sure it wasn't the one I ran in and got, and I could tell by the price. I was like, okay, I don't know what happened, but they didn't charge me for this, and I haven't paid for it yet, but I have it. And they kind of looked at me like, well, thank you for being honest. So they charged me for the chicken, and I came back home. So I had to bring the chicken in the store, they scanned it, and then take it back home. I hadn't opened these packages yet, so we were good to go. But it was just so funny. I'm sitting there going, this is weird. I don't know what happened, and I'm just not getting back to you guys. And they're like, it's okay, we're sorry. So I don't know, have you experienced that before with your pickup orders, that you got stuff that they said they were out of stock of, or you weren't expecting, or maybe it belonged to someone else? I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of weird what they were doing. I do believe the young man that did take care of my order, when they bring it out to the car, it's the same person that shopped. So I'm curious if he just messed up and hit the wrong button or something on his little scanner thing. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. So let's total up grocery household. 56.44 plus the 98.74 and plus the 14.51. Okay, that was $169.69, which is pretty good. I gave myself plenty of money, but I wanted to make sure I could roll over to the second week enough money for when I do stock up on snacks, and I'm gonna double stock up on snacks because there's this little airplane right here. I'm gonna be flying out of town on the 11th, and I probably won't be back until the 18th, and all my boys, my husband and my 2 sons, are all on their own, and I don't know how they're going to survive, so we'll have to wait and see. There's going to be a lot of eating out, and this month is going to be weird when it comes to when the videos are being posted. They will be posted, just give me some time. I might have to do it a few days later or within the next week or something, but I'll try to even it out as much as I can, but we'll see what happens. So 169.69. I'm like, okay. There we go. And then the next thing I have, even though I bought groceries, this was a strange day. Restaurants. So I DoorDashed $47.70 for dinner for me and my husband because of what happened here with the locksmith. So I'll explain that when I get to the Unbudgeted. But yes, I did order dinner for me and my husband. I cooked dinner for my boys, but I ordered something for me and my husband. Miscellaneous, apple.com. I bought a song. Basically, it was just a single song, and that was the charge for that. And that's the only miscellaneous we have, which I'm excited about. And then gasoline, $58.95. I filled up my gas tank in my Nissan Armada, which is why it takes up so much gas. And it's a large tank. And now we are down to the Unbudgeted. So here's the story. My husband was about 2.5 hours away, north of where we live, and at one of his sites that he does for his job. He is an inspector, and he has to inspect mining sites. And so he was up there, and he accidentally locked his keys in his state truck. So he had to call a locksmith, and then that locksmith took about 45 minutes to get there or more. Anyways, great guy, nice guy, got the truck unlocked and everything, but it was a $275 charge. But my husband gave him a very large tip. He's a very generous man, and he just felt really bad for the guy. So hopefully this tip helps this person and, takes care of their needs and stuff like that. So we had an unexpected expense of $275 that my husband had to pay up front to get his key out of his car. It was just horrible. Anyway, and it's an older, well, it's not even a car, it's a truck. It's an older truck, and yeah, it's a different kind of key than what we're used to having. So after the locksmith came, my husband texted, said, okay, I'm on my way home. I said, okay. I said, do you just want me to order dinner? And he said, yes. And because he was having a hard day, and I didn't think burgers, which is what we planned for last night, was going to cut it, and he just needed a treat. And so he likes the Buffalo Wild Wings and stuff like that. So yeah, we ordered Buffalo Wild Wings. I was just trying to help him feel better. And so it was a bad day, but that's why we did that. And that is all I have for all of this. So we're going to take this information and put this over here. We'll get to the bills in just a second after I do the weekly check-in and balance for the totals. Now, I came up with this spending for 5 weeks. So this is going to be the first 4 days of the month, and then 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, and then the last one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm used to doing a Friday to Thursday. Next month, I'm going to start on the 1st, and wherever the 7th is, wherever it falls on the calendar, the next day I'll film and then decide when to upload the video. So that is what I plan to do going into May, because it's already April. But this month I'm actually still sticking to the Friday to Thursday, and since this started on the 1st on Monday, you know, it'll work out as long as I keep the budget flowing. But I don't like how short the days are and partial weeks and stuff like that. So if I start on the 1st and just upload my videos based on whenever the 1st is and do it once a week, then it'll vary month to month when those videos come up, but not necessarily, but it shouldn't change anything as far as the budget goes. You'll get to see the weekly check-in. It just won't be routine on the Fridays. So that's the only bummer about this, is how the income's coming in and where the money's going. So, and what dates are falling on. So back to this. Here I did the totals. We're doing $1,600 for the month for grocery household, $500 for restaurants, $400 for miscellaneous, $200 for gas, and $100 for copay. Unbudgeted is always $0, so I never budget for that. I gave myself for the first 4 days $320, and anything left over just moves forward to the next week, and I add them together, and I have each week's. As you can see here, the last, well, no, I didn't change anything throughout this month. Yeah, everything was divided by 5, and it's the same every week this month. Sometimes if I know it's only 2 days at the end of the month or 3 days at the end of the month, I'll give myself less groceries, because first of the month is when I usually buy everything I need. But yeah, I think we're going to be fine. So let's go ahead and turn to this page and get my notes ready. Okay, so we know we have $320 available to spend for grocery household. I only spent $169.69. Now you can do 2 things with this, with the leftovers. So let's first find out how much the balance leftover is. $320 minus $169.69. All right, I have $150. Granted, this was only a 4-day week that I budget the same amount for as I did for the rest of the month, but it did give me money to balance forward to this paycheck. So I would be taking this $150.31 and adding the $320 I planned every week. And it's going to give me a really nice budget for $470.31. This is how I like to do it. Now you can plan out your budgets in this way where you have the same amount every week that you're giving yourself, and any change left over, that money could go to savings, whether you're saving for something specific or if you are doing savings challenges, things like that. This is a good area to do that if you don't happen to spend all your money. Restaurants, I did give myself $100, and we only spent $47.70, and that still left me $52.30. So let me write this down. and 52.30. There we go. All right, so I could take this and I can add the $100 I planned for the next week, and that gives me $152. Not that I needed a calculator for that, and 30 cents. Just habit. All right, miscellaneous, I gave myself $80. And again, it was such a short week that I really didn't have time to spend anything. I only bought a song, 137. So that left me $78.63, but this gives me a good buffer going forward. Let's see, plus the, how much was that? $80. $80 a week. There we go. $158.63. Okay, gas that I did buy. I gave myself $40. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. I only gave myself $40 worth of gas. Or no, I gave myself a budget of $40 of gas. I spent $58.95, knowing I would go over. And that may not make sense to you, but this is one of those categories. The only time we spend $40 or less is when my husband spends on gas on his Jeep, and he's not driving it that much anyway right now. So $58.95 is what we spent. And then get my red pen here. I like this to stand out and show the negative. $18.95. All right, so what we got here is this $18 is being covered or floating by these numbers here. So I had combined enough to cover that cost, and all I have to do is lower this one, and I probably won't buy gas this week. We won't need to, and then it'll go back in the positive by this time. I mean, it'll be positive here, and then, you know, by the time I get gas here in a couple weeks, then it should be balanced out, and we should have plenty for that. So I don't really drive a whole lot. Sometimes we go to, I think, in a 45-mile radius from our house, but that's only like once a month, maybe. Now, this month, I had thought about using our gas money to cover the gas for my mom and dad's vehicle when I'm driving it, but I think I'm just going to pull it from the savings from the tax return, which is in the buffer of the checking account. So I'm going to do that separate, so you won't be seeing a lot of charges here. I got a lot going on this month, so it's a little intense. So I gave myself $40 this week. I'm going to give myself another $40. And now I am $21.05 available for gas this week, and nobody needs to buy gas. So the money's there. It was taken care of. Not a problem. I could go over, and I don't pay the credit card, all these charges that you see here on the credit card, until the day I film. So usually every Thursday I'm paying my credit card and bringing my balance back to zero. That's how I like to run things. And because I am tracking, which is why the best tool out there is tracking, and willing to use what cash we have in our checking account, budget that out for each category, put the charges on, but track here in my weekly check on what I am actually spending every week. It keeps me within the boundaries of what my budget is. So even though sometimes I do go over, then I have to make the decision, are we going to take it out of the buffer of the checking account, which is any money left over after all the bills have been paid and anything we budgeted for the month or that week or that paycheck period. Yeah, I really have to think things through, and that is so important to do with your budget. All right, copay, we had $20. Oops, let's start up here. I didn't spend anything in copay, so I still have $20, and I'm adding $20, so that's $40 here. And then unbudgeted. Okay, so this is going to be zero just because every week I start at zero with unbudgeted. I did spend, like I said, on the my husband locking himself out of the truck at $275. We did spend that on the credit card. My husband and I discussed it and figured out where the money was coming from. You'll see that in my paycheck one closeout, where some of the money came, or where actually all the money came from. You'll see those deposits in there. Let's see. $275. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead, so I don't forget to make my check marks. This is because I've already made the bank transfer before I came in and budgeted for this weekly check-in. So I had already done that. Now that is my weekly check-in. If you only came for the weekly check-in, I am done with the weekly check-in. I have week done, completed, closed out in the books. Week 2's already set up. These are the numbers. I'll just kind of go over and show you what this total would be for the week. 470.31 plus 152.30 plus 158 plus 6 158.63, not plus, 21.05 and $40. So I have $842 combined here for week 2 to support anything we need to purchase for week 2. And I think because it's higher, a little higher than normal, it could be anywhere from $600 to $800 depending on how I planned out my budget for the month. I have plenty. I think I can definitely move forward with stocking up on things that everybody in the house likes to have before I leave for being visiting my friend, and hopefully she's had her baby by the time I get there, and all the things that I'm traveling for while I'm gone. So I'm praying and hoping that that all works out. So here we go. That is done. I'm going to clear this out. Now we're going to do the bills. So as I showed earlier, I think, pretty sure I did. Here is my calendar for the bills. I'm only looking for blue up until the first 4 days, or anything that I've checked off. So I've checked off this one. This one actually came out a day early, which is fine. I just don't want to move the sticker. But all of this has already happened, and I only have 4 bills that has come out. And there's 1 bill that's not on here that should be on here. In fact, let me get my stickers. I just realized I keep them in the back of my notebook now. I never use these pocket folders, but I finally remembered to use them. So there we go. Let's get all this back together for you guys. All right, where do I have an extra? It's going to be an odd color. It's going to be this color, but that's okay. Let's see here. I use the NutriSense Libre sensor kind of thing. I don't know. It's to track my diabetes and it's to track my blood sugar because I am diabetic. And so far I'm good today. And glucose chart and stuff like that. So NutriSense. So here it is. So you're going to see this guy. Usually you see a lot of these commercials and then they have the sensor on their arm. So that's what I have on my arm. It's $265 a month for 2 sensors. Now you probably remember I bought 1 sensor for $106. Or yeah, $106 last month. Hold on. Yeah, $106. And that was just to get me through until my shipment came through, because the shipment date and the day my sensor ends, and they expire every 14 days. That is what I needed an extra sensor for to hold me over. So I just have 1 extra. And every time I get my sensors in the mail, it's automatically shipped. I signed up for the 6-month plan, so I'll be doing this for 6 months. And I did not mark down that I'm doing this. So NutriSense. I think I spelled that right. And every month that is $265. There we go. So I'm going to use this little Bill Do sticker here I got, and I'm going to add it to this one. So when I go do next month's calendar, which I've actually kind of already set up, I'm going to make sure that's on there, and as I move forward month to month until it expires. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it after the 6 months. I really, really do like having the sensor. I'm not insulin dependent, so it's not covered by any of my medical or in my insurances. So if I want it, I have to do it this way. And we've just decided to do this way. And I've been healthier for it, so I'm happy with it. So I need my blue highlighter. So when I set up my monthly calendar, I usually, if I can find my highlighter, there it is. Take this blue highlighter and just highlight the name. And I know that that means it's on the credit card. That's just what I know is, and this is how I track that's on the credit card. That is a bill, because these bills are pretty static. They usually happen the same time every month, paycheck to paycheck, not a problem. So the first thing we have here is $95.06. That was that tithing. I used my credit card for that. And then I just pay back the credit card because it's an online tithing. $10.59 is Amazon Music, so that came out. It's my husband's subscription. $171 cable, internet, phone. $6.99, which is Paramount Plus, and then the $2.56, which is NutriSense. There we go. I just realized I'm using a different pen. I'm like, why is it writing different? All right, here we go. So that's better. All right, so now I need to figure out how much I owe the credit card. So let's do that. So let's total the bills up so I can find out all the totals, add them together, and then find out what I paid the credit card, and that will match what you saw earlier in my line items of paying expenses or things that came out on the things that were billed to the credit card or charged on the credit card, and then the payment I made. This should match. So that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to take the 160. Oops, nope, I got to start down here. The $95.06 plus $10.59 plus $171. Plus $6.99 plus $2.65. There we go. That is a total of $548.64. We're going to add from the bottom up, and that's $275 plus $58.95 plus $47.70 plus $137 plus $169.69. And I did pay back the credit card $1,101.35, bringing my credit card back to zero. And as you can see on the tracker, this number and that number matches. So I did pay $1,101.35, and that's what it was on the calculator as well. And so that is what my total is here. So I did my job. I paid the credit card back. So I am definitely back to zero with $24,000 credit limit, but I never use all of it. I only use what I need that I have actual cash for. If I don't have the actual cash, and I'm not talking savings account cash, I'm talking about actual cash in the budget from the paycheck that comes in, then I'm not going to charge it to the credit card. I'm just not. There's no need to do it. So that is the weekly check-in. We are done and done. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye. You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.